Do you feel the vibes?
What's up, YouTube? It's Carolina Calvin, and welcome to your NFL 2017 Conference Championship game picks. In the divisional round, I went 2-2 with the Packers beating the Cowboys, which I picked the Cowboys in my divisional round picks, and I picked Kansas City, who also lost to Pittsburgh, in a game where the kicker scored majority of the combined points for both teams. This week for the NFC Championship game, which comes on 3:05 tomorrow, which is Sunday. Comes on 3:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time between the Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons. Now, these two teams played earlier this year with the Atlanta Falcons beating out. Actually, they scored near the end of the game, a late touchdown. They scored late points. The Falcons won 33-32. And you saw a game where there was a lot of points put up, 65 between both teams. And a lot of people predicting that as well, with just the way both offenses have looked, the way the Packers have looked against the Giants and the Cowboys, scoring 30 plus against both teams and in both games. And how Atlanta made that Seattle Seahawks defense look really bad. They were able to run the ball, pass the ball. They were able to pretty much do whatever they wanted against that, supposedly vaunted Seahawks defense. Albeit without Earl Thomas, but would they honestly look that bad without Earl Thomas? Obviously, they wouldn't be as good, but they still got some really good players on that defense, and they made them look really bad. So I can see why people would think that there will be a lot of points scored, and I'm giving any indication they won't. Atlanta, both defenses aren't really that good. I would give the edge to. It's hard to even say who you get the edge to, because Green Bay has some guys who are more experienced, but they had a lot of injuries in the secondary. Atlanta, doesn't have as many injuries, but they have some young guys, don't have a lot of experience. And they looked good against a bad Seahawks offensive line. But this Green Bay offensive line, in terms of pass protection, has been phenomenal. There's a big reason why that Packers team has went on a run. Big reason why people are throwing Aaron Rodgers into the MVP conversation when, the first half of the season he didn't play well. But it's been that offensive line. These guys had a long time to throw the ball. You can see during plays where he's able to just survey the field. And you saw this against the Giants. You saw this against the Cowboys. That's how he was able to pick these defenses apart and score, as many points as he did. Atlanta, I think one of the ways to pretty much kind of neutralize a guy like Aaron Rodgers, obviously keep him off the field. The Atlanta Falcons, unlike the Packers, have the advantage of a run game, of a superior run game. The Atlanta offensive line has been doing a great job of run blocking. Coleman and Freeman have been a great dual threat at running back. You saw that in that Seahawks game, the way the offensive line was blocking, the way those running backs were running. They're running hard. They were breaking tackles. And I think controlling the clock is very important. Keeping a guy like Aaron Rodgers on the sideline is really important because Atlanta's one of those teams that can't get in the shootout with them. But do you really want to get in the shootout with Aaron Rodgers? Probably not. You use the advantage of having that run game against an injury-riddled Green Bay team. Not as injured up front, mainly on that back end, but you take advantage of the running game, you burn some clock, and if those plays come open down the field, of course you're going to take them because they're going to throw it downfield. Julio Jones, still a big question mark about him. They're going to need him to, they plan on, of course, getting to the Super Bowl and winning it because he's one of the most dangerous wide receivers in football. A nightmare, 6'3", 6'4". The guy's really tough to guard. Biggest question mark with him has always been his health. Green Bay, of course, slowing down that Atlanta running game because, like I said, I think Atlanta knows that they're going to have to control the clock and keep a guy like Aaron Rodgers off the field, kind of mess with this rhythm. That's going to be important for Atlanta to establish the run. And Green Bay is going to be to stop, to slow down the run and force them to throw, despite having problems in the secondary. But they want to try to give Aaron Rodgers the ball back, because the strength of that team is Aaron Rodgers, that pass blocking offensive line, running game almost non-existent for Green Bay. So we'll have to see. I think whoever gets stops, whoever can control the clock, definitely wins this game. And for that, I think I'm gonna go with Atlanta in this game. I feel as though, like I said, I think they're more likely to establish the run, and I feel as though having home field isn't that big of a deal. I think Green Bay has enough experience; it really doesn't matter. But I feel as though run blocking for Atlanta and those running backs, I think they'll be able to control the game and keep Aaron Rodgers off the field. I said that about the Dallas game, but we saw what happened. But I think some of that came into place with inexperience, especially early on in the game for Dallas. Kind of got into a hole. Atlanta has a little bit more experience with a guy like Matt Ryan. So give me Atlanta to beat Green Bay in that game. The next game, the Pittsburgh Steelers head to New England to play the Patriots. Pittsburgh they don't have a really good record, at least with having in the Ben Roethlisberger era against the Patriots. They played earlier this year. Ben Roethlisberger did not play in this game, but Le'Veon Bell had a good game, and he's had a good playoffs. Ben Roethlisberger has been an issue. He didn't play well against the Chiefs, and he had some huge numbers in the first half of the Dolphins game, but in the second half, not really. And most of that you could attribute to Le'Veon Bell having such a dominant game in that one. But he had about 150, 140 something yards in that first half, then only had about 40, 50 yards in that second half. Obviously, they blew the game open. They ended up winning 30-12. So like I say, running the ball, trying to run out the clock and get the game over with, I can get that. But he didn't look good against the Chiefs. I read the Chiefs secondary they've been turning a lot of quarterbacks over, but I don't know. He hasn't looked that good, in terms of his play. He hasn't played that well this season. It's mainly been, if we're picking one guy who has definitely been the best offensive player on that team, it's been Le'Veon Bell. Despite missing those first 3 games, he's been one of the best running backs in football. We're talking about from pass blocking to receiving, and definitely, you see this guy run, and he's just making guys miss. He has been really underrated this year. I don't think a lot of people have been talking about him, but he's been a beast. Definitely one of the big reasons why that Pittsburgh team is in the playoffs. Now everything's gonna be predicated on how well can Ben play, because he's gonna have to make plays. This is not the Kansas City Chiefs. It's the New England Patriots at home with guys like Tom Brady. We're gonna put up points. Field goals won't help you here. You're gonna have to put up points. And, I think Le'Veon Bell's going to get his numbers, but can Big Ben, show some flashes of when he was able to put up big yardage, put up big numbers, because they're going to need that to beat New England. Defensively, I thought Pittsburgh's played well defensively. Definitely much better than they were in the regular season. Guys like James Harrison have been playing better. I think overall they've been playing better, but New England has had a lot of success against them, the secondary. So it's gonna be tough for Pittsburgh to really slow down that New England offense. Like I said, it's gonna have to be, once again, just like the Green Bay Atlanta game, control the clock. Le'Veon Bell, you got a great running back. Control the clock. Keep a guy like Tom Brady off the field, and when you are on the field, you have to be able to get pressure on him. You can say that about any quarterback, but specifically Tom Brady. You have to get some hurry, get some hits on him to kind of throw his rhythm off. Because if you let him just sit back there comfortably, he's going to pick you apart. Like I said, you can say that about any quarterback, but especially this guy. You don't get any kind of pressure on him, he's going to pick you apart. For New England, usually they play their game, they win. They made a lot of mistakes against the Houston team, but Osweiler helped them out by being a complete bum. But New England usually a team that don't beat themselves. They don't turn the ball over a lot, which came as a surprise in that particular game. but usually you have to beat them. They usually don't beat themselves. Run a great offense. It's always next man up. A lot of these receivers that you never heard of, they get these guys for that system. The guys who can run their routes efficiently. They get these running backs who are not only great at running between the tackles, running on the outside, but guys who are great receivers who, you can honestly put them in the slot. You can put them on the outside, and they wouldn't be no different to your average receiver in the league with ball skills. And that's usually the type of guys they go for. And the defense haven't been giving up a lot of points. They were number 1 or number 2 in terms of points allowed. So I think that's something that hasn't been looked at is the defense. Yeah, they're giving up yards, but they're not giving up a bunch of points, which I've been harping about all season. That's a really important thing, is not being able to give up a bunch of points. And I got New England in this game because I just don't see Pittsburgh being able to slow down Tom Brady, and at this point I have no confidence in Big Ben, who hasn't played well against who didn't play well in the second half of the Dolphins game, and didn't play well against the Chiefs. So I'm not sure if I have much faith in him against a New England team that has had success against him. But let me know what you think down in the comment section. Who do you have in the championship games? Like I said, I got Atlanta in the NFC championship game, and I have New England in the AFC championship game. So I think those two teams are the ones that's going to be going to the Super Bowl. But like I said, let me know what you think down in the comment section. Hit that thumbs up button if you like this video, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.